What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here in the Odd Shepherd channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you, because you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Interesting start to the Jaden Ivey just nuked it. Bojan Bogdanovic did not. Yeah, we were back on the Bojan train. We're up enough on Bojan that I'm not going to be completely crestfallen about the thing, but I want to win all the bets that I make. So Bojan, what are we doing here? Ended up on that. Said I was going to have some Detroit interest, and yeah, went back on myself a little bit. Isaiah Stewart got ruled in. Didn't think it mattered that much. And then you got Alec Burks starting in that lineup 3 minutes before lock. I would have changed a couple of things if I had known that information, because that's a pretty high usage guy to get inserted into the lineup as opposed to Killian Hayes, more of a distributor at times. But whatever, such is life. Interesting rotations from Detroit, but we're going to start seeing some weird stuff pop up in about another month or two. Post deadline for sure. The dog days of the end of winter, beginning spring. It gets a little strange, but I'm killing time here. We've got a 5-gamer. It's going to be a pretty quick video here on this Friday. Hopefully Thursday treated you well. Hopefully my picks for the evening that I have not yet seen yet, because again, I record this usually around the 9:30ish time Eastern time. That's about the normal recording time. Nothing has really shown up there, but something that showed up for the last month or so. Bet $5, win $200 over at DraftKings in bonus bets. Yes, bonus bets, $5 on anything gets you $200 automatically. No strings attached. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Alrighty, y'all. 5 games. Gonna be fast. Let's get to the picks, shall we? 5 games with 5 lines? Rejoice! Let's go. Why am I a mime today? I'm putting the hands down for the rest of the show. The intro, what is going on? Let's talk basketball, shall we? What a brutal first spot for the Pacers here, hosting the Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo already ruled in. Chris Middleton back. Drew Holiday healthy. As long as those three share a floor together, teams are in big trouble here in the East. And for the Pacers, typical stacked injury report for them. Tyrese Halliburton still out. Miles Turner, Andrew Nembhard, and Aaron Nesmith questionable. That's some serious potential for Milwaukee Smashfest 2.0. You know, like the time we bet them giving up 11 on the road to Detroit, and it became the easiest cover of the modern era. That was fun. But there's 2 plays. Yeah, you heard me. You're getting 2 plays for the price of 1, because I like them equally. And when that happens, you just get them both, okay? In fact, I'm okay with you fine folks parlaying these 2 together, because if we're being serious, you're probably going to do that anyway. Damn it, this hand is just popping up again. Let's talk the play, shall we? Drew Holiday, over 19.5 points, plus Milwaukee covering the 7.5 spread, currently available over at BetMGM. You can sign up for that in the video description box below as well. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. But the caution tape is currently on Chris Middleton. 15 minutes in his first 2 games back. It's plural, Eric. Good job. We're not having any problem saying the words today. Not sure when it ramps up, that being Chris Middleton's playing time, but you also have Giannis, who just played 31 minutes against Denver in a spot which was way more competitive than expected. Shout out Aaron Gordon and Bruce Brown, which means 34 minutes is probably on the table, maybe? But that's a lower minutes allotment for both him, and definitely a lower minutes allotment for Chris Middleton, which means juiced at minus 115. I'm liking the play with the assumed uptick to scoring opportunities for a guy who's literally averaging 19.5 a game, but now is facing the 3rd fastest team in the NBA. As for Milwaukee, covering the 7.5 points, that is part 2 of this lovely equation. Yes, it's on the road, but I have this as 8.5 with Miles Turner in. If he specifically sits, this game becomes double digits for me pretty instantly, as Turner is by far the 2nd best NBA player on this team behind Halliburton. So a prospective bet, if you want to call it that, but I'm happy to lay a number I think is off to begin with ever so slightly, and hope for some good news to break your way. Good news, folks. So there you go. 2 plays, one game covered. Drew Holiday over 19.5 points. Milwaukee minus 7.5 to kick off our day. I like them both. My Timberwolves up next, hosting the Grizzlies. No Steven Adams for Memphis. And Rudy Gobert questionable for the Wolves, which is nothing new. That's like the 984,632 straight game that's happened. And I'm a little thrown off by this line, if we're being serious. Memphis was just 2.5-point dogs in Golden State. Can't even talk about that game. I'm so upset by all the bad beats in it. But the point is, they're only 3-point favorites here. Gobert is questionable. I suppose there's one other piece I left out for dramatic effect. Ooh, I'm building the tension. But Desmond Bane is questionable for Memphis as well. Now, that's an offensive piece for this team and an exceptional two-way player out of TCU, which is a university that should still feel embarrassed that they exist and that they had the Natty title game go the way that it did. But different story for a different show. SEC teams are just better. And he sits, and I would probably want nothing to do with Memphis laying the 3. But if he's in, I'd have north of a 4.5-point spread on this and would start firing this up. But since I do not have that information and there's a prop I actually like on the Timberwolves side, I don't have to fire that one up for the people. And that prop would be, of all things, the over of 9.5 points for Kyle Anderson. The Wolves' starting wing at this point in time has seen a lot more playing time of late, rightfully so, as Slow-Mo, as he's affectionately known, is just a good basketball player. So the 8 points he averages per game on the season is not prorated correctly. He's averaged 30 minutes per game in his last 6 and just 26 a game on the entire season. So an uptick there. But with no Taurean Prince for this game, another wing who can eat up some minutes, they're probably going to have Wendell Carter Jr. play a very small role off the bench here at spots to relieve him. But he should see 34 or so minutes like he's seen routinely at a number of competitive spots, considering this is a competitive spread. And that, my friends, makes this a lock button play for me. I have him projected north of 11.5, almost 12 fantasy points. Does he have revenge in his heart? I certainly hope so. Kyle Anderson over 9.5 points, minus 18 currently on the FanDuel.com. Yeah, lock button central. Weird spot here is the Magic take on the Heat. As I said before, and I'll say it again, I like what's taking place with this Orlando team. They've got an atrocious 19-29 record. I'm not going to say it's not, but they play in the East, really tough. There's some nice pieces here. That's kind of the main component, and they're starting to get healthier. With everyone healthy, it's going to be hard to carve out minutes for everybody going forward. You're going to have guys like Gary Harris, Terrence Ross falling by the wayside, maybe pieces that can get moved at the deadline, and I do expect some shuffling then, as a lot of teams will be interested in seeing if they can pry a player or two away from a team that continues to develop young talent. As for Miami, their core guys are in. Everybody's in. They're all healthy for once. So I think you know what this means if you've watched enough of my videos before. Hard to realize any sort of value here, as there is very little injury news that can change the landscape of this game. Now, could Jimmy Butler get ruled out randomly? Sure. Happens more than it should. Could someone on Orlando randomly play more than they should? Absolutely. They have roughly 92,000 healthy bodies right now, give or take. So this is the shortest game in terms of analysis I've got for you on the card. I don't like anything. Pass all the way around. Books have a chance to be super efficient with this. Lean Orlando getting the 7.5 if you must, but for the love of all that is good and righteous, do not bet it, as this looks perfectly efficient to me in this spot. Orlando plus 7.5, simply a lean. So I put my hands up. We bet $5, win $200 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Put in bonus bets in like, yeah. Place a $5 wager on any market like, yeah. You guys don't like Miley? I apologize to you if you don't. But either way, Miley, she used to be very attractive, in my opinion. Still probably is. I don't know. It depends on what you... Your taste changes as you get older. It changes slightly. Like, I'm pretty sure things change a lot, but this has been unwaveringly successful and continuing to be an awesome deal for all involved. So bet $5, win yourself $200 in bonus bets over at the DraftKings Sportsbook. You place $5 on any wager that I recommend here on this video. May I just say, Kyle Anderson, your lock for the day, over 9.5 points. You want to fire that one up over on DK? You're going to get yourself $200 in bonus bets to be able to fire on college basketball over the weekend, to be firing up NFL on Sunday. So many great opportunities that you can put that $200 to work for you, and so little time to do it. So sign up at DraftKings right now in the video description box below. 21 and over. Please play responsibly, and if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Party in the USA. Back to the picks. I apologize to everybody involved. I'm a little loopy in my old age. What a time to be alive with this game, though, friends. Cleveland at OKC. The Cavs are just 1-point favorites. 1-point favorites heading into Oklahoma City to face the Thunder. Can you believe that? I can't believe that. Can you believe that? I can't believe that. I almost don't believe it. But it's true, and that's the opening number here, and it must be respected. I think we all know why. They're playing Houston. They're absolutely murdering them, and it is a back-to-back. So I do think That helps the profile of this Cleveland team on a back-to-back. They were just up, what? Infinity. They're up 25 right now at the end of the third quarter. Useful stuff, Melody. Sorry, I didn't have that on the card, people. But either way, they're going into OKC, and Donovan Mitchell was questionable for this Houston game. If he suits up, my God, this can't possibly be one, right? This can't possibly be one, right? What you talking about, Willis? But we look at the OKC side, SGA, Giddey, Jalen Williams, like the Jalen Williams who spelled A-L-E-N. Yes, they have two of them on the same team. He's starting to play some good minutes for them, but Lou Dort out. Pokusevski, Robinson Earl still out at the center position. Lou Dort, it's just like they're disregarding this as a piece. This opened at -1 on DK, and I'm trying to figure it out. I almost locked this, but I already gave you the Kyle Anderson lock. This is like borderline on the highway of like and lock right there. You're in one lane, and then there's another lane, and then it's there. This hands thing is getting out of control. I got to stop. But either way, I like Cleveland laying the point here. I get it. OKC's been playing awesome basketball. I was really sad. I was hoping they were going to get to 500 and go 24-24. Alas, they're 23-25. They're going to be chasing that one. And I hope they have to chase it for a little bit longer here, as I do think Donovan Mitchell more than likely plays in this game. Kevin Love more than likely plays in this game. That sets up really nicely for Cleveland -1. Borderline lock. But I think we're going to just like it for the time being. And then, hey, Donovan Mitchell plays, fire this to the moon. And our last game of the night, friends, the Toronto Raptors facing the Golden State Warriors. 5-point spread there, as you can see on the lovely side of your screen. I love this thing. This looks so good all the time. Shout out producer Alicia. But Toronto, pretty hefty dogs here in this spot. Pretty hefty little dogs, but 229.5 total. Higher than your average Toronto total. I'm just throwing it out there again. And it has to be reiterated. The same way I talked about the Sacramento analysis, I'm going to talk about the Golden State analysis. Who am I going to highlight? You know who I'm going to highlight if you saw it the other day. But Pascal Siakam, we bet his double-double. He was nearly plus 200. That number has dropped considerably, and that is why it is off the card as of right now. I'm considering adding it back. But one of the reasons Pascal Siakam's rebounding totals have fallen off of late are big minutes along another center there in Precious Achiuwa. They've had times where they played these guys very, very few minutes, when it was Koloko who was in the starting unit. They had Hernan Gomez starting, and they would play Mr. Pascal Siakam exclusively at the 5. But a lot of changes that have crushed his rebounding rate of late. But two advantageous things that happen when you play a team like Sacramento or a team like Golden State that is actually first in terms of pace. One, more possessions in the basketball game, and two, more than likely, more long rebound attempts. And I know that seems really, really stupid to talk about. Hey, Eric, just crunch the rebound rate, plug it into the spreadsheet, and move along with your lives. No, I will not do that, because I have basketball context for why it is that I trust my spreadsheet so much. And I have Pascal Siakam projected for over 8.5 rebounds in this spot. Now, you're going to get better value if you go the double-double route in terms of like, well, when he gets over on those rebounds, more than likely he's going over on points, because all he needs is 10 damn points. And a dude in Pascal Siakam is going to get to that number pretty frequently, considering he averages 25.2 per game on the season. But the reason I'm making the over of 7.5 rebounds his emphasis in this spot is because there are so many range of outcomes where 8.5, you get to 8, you get to 9, and that ends up being a nice piece of the parlay card. And I trust that you know how many of you, or I want you to know how many of you, I want you to know that I know that you bet a lot of parlays and I don't. So that's what I'm getting at. 7.5 rebounds. 7.5 rebounds. I just don't want to get in the habit of convincing you double-doubles are the right move, but I'm probably going to be adding that to the card too. For a smaller play than I did against Sacramento. It's juiced pretty heavily now compared to what it was. But Pascal Siakam, high-paced action here, going up against Golden State, the number 1 team in the NBA in terms of pace. Sorry for the seizure I just had there before. Over 7.5 rebounds. Can you tell I'm ready for the weekend? I am ready for the weekend. We're done. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. You know what to do. Head to that comment section below. Make fun of me because I probably deserve it at times. No matter what, though, no matter what, take advantage of that DraftKings promotion we have going. Bet $5, win $200. Sign up for the premium Discord. So many of you guys, so many new faces. Love to see that in the premium Discord. Just keep riding the wave. We're having a really, really good time over there. Been a couple of really successful weeks. I hope to keep that going for everybody involved. You get my premium card every single day, as well as access to a lot of insiders. Greg Ehrenberg, Lofty, Aton, so many guys that you're really going to enjoy. Speaking of Aton, he'll be here for the weekend per usual with you on Saturday and Sunday. I take him off because I need to breathe and, not be a spastic individual. But until Monday, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Friday.